For everyone who solves crime from their couch, knows more about forensics than their own job, and has trust issues with small-town sheriffs, Amazon Music's millions of podcast episodes are calling. Just download the Amazon Music app and start listening to your favorite true crime podcasts ad-free. Included with Prime.
It's Friday, December 5th, 2025, and this is the Washington Times front page. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. Navy Admiral Frank Bradley of U.S. Special Operations Command told members of Congress no one issued a kill them all order during a pair of strikes on a suspected drug boat in the Caribbean Sea in September. Mike Glenn reports Senate Intelligence Committee Chairman Tom Cotton told reporters as he left the briefing that Bradley was very clear he was given no such order. Bradley and Joint Chiefs of Staff Chairman General Dan Kane held a classified briefing for Republican and Democratic leaders of Congress's Intelligence and Armed Forces Committees about the September 2nd operation, which some have called a double-tap missile strike. House Intelligence Committee ranking member James Himes agreed on that specific detail, which is key to war crime claims against Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and even potentially President Trump. The Supreme Court will allow Texas to use its new Republican-friendly congressional map for the 2026 midterm elections, putting on hold a lower court ruling that found the map to be an illegal attempt to strip minorities of voting power. In an unsigned opinion, Stephen Dinan reports the court said the lower court erred in its legal reasoning by assuming the legislature had racial motives and wrongly moved to erase Texas's map, even though the period for filing to run in primaries had already begun. They said the new map will remain in effect as the case proceeds. That means it likely will be the map voters see when they cast ballots next year. Even if the justices ruled against the map before November 2026, it would be too close to the election to change back. The FBI has arrested a Virginia man, accusing him of placing pipe bombs at the Republican and Democratic National Committee headquarters on the eve of the 2021 riot at the U.S. Capitol. Matt Delaney and Kerry Pickett report Attorney General Pam Bondi said 30-year-old Brian Cole from the Washington suburb of Woodbridge was charged with use of an explosive device. FBI Director Kash Patel said the arrest did not result from any new tips, but rather from revisiting the extensive evidence that had been compiled and remained dormant during the Biden administration. Analysts who have been tracking Russia warn it's working to weaponize weather and deploy it against adversaries. Joseph Hammond reports Russia is at the forefront of a group of nations investing in geoengineering capabilities, according to the Royal United Services Institute, a British think tank that has studied the growing threat of weather warfare. The institute says research into the technologies and systems needed to manipulate weather patterns for strategic or military purposes has been conducted in recent years under the guise of studying the climate. And finally, critics have accused filmmaker Ken Burns of inaccuracies in his series, The Revolution. Susan Ferricchio reports those affiliated with the PBS series have rejected some of the complaints, but have made one correction. The series will remove a claim about the alleged sexist treatment in terms of post-war pay of Revolutionary War hero Margaret Corbin, according to a production official. Corbin was seriously wounded by the British in 1776 while helping her fallen husband defend Fort Washington in northern Manhattan. Find all of today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find us on social media at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.